Hi, my name's Rob from robnunphoto.com, and today I want to talk about 3 essential books that I think you should read an awful lot. If you haven't got them already, you should go and buy them. Okay, maybe get them from the library if you can get them. Well, 2 of them you get from the library, 1 of them you've probably got already. So these are essential books you need to make your photography better, to go with your EOS 600d Canon dSLR t3i or any other sort of camera at all. Now the first one is a bit glib, I know, but you know, something you should always have to hand: your camera manual. Read it, reread it. I know they're boring, but you'll be amazed at the number of functions that your camera will do. Here's mine. Let's just take this flash off it. You'd be amazed at the functions this thing will do that you don't know about, and you'll read the manual and you go, wow, I didn't know it did that, or oh yeah, I was getting that problem, and that tells you how to do it. So a bit of a glib one, that one. I know you've probably already been through the manual, but keep it to hand, keep it in your camera bag. Very, very good. Now I think a book that everybody should have if you've got a digital camera is this book here. This is Scott Kelby's Digital Photography Book Volume 1. I've done videos about this book already on the YouTube channel, but it really is superb. It's an excellent book. I think they should. These are the 2 books you should really have with your camera. They are essential reads. And what's really nice about the digital photography book is that it takes a lot of the mystique and mystery about taking specific types of photographs. Now, Mr. Kelby, he does go on about gear quite a lot in the beginning of the book, and he kind of says, well, you know, if you want to take the right sort of photographs, you've got to have the right sort of gear. And I agree with him up to a point, but we can also do things a lot cheaper. You know, instead of a dedicated macro lens, we can use extension tubes. We don't need the latest tripod. We can buy second-hand, stuff like that. But what's very, very good is that once you've been through the basics, so you know your manual, what Mr. Kelby does, and he explains a lot of that in there as well, is he will give you a photograph, say for example like this shot of a flower on a black background, and underneath he tells you all the settings and exactly how he went around doing it, so that if you think to yourself, you know, I really want to, I'm going to be doing some I want to take a nice soft photo of a waterfall or something, or a local river. You go through here, he has the picture of the waterfall, and then he has the description on exactly how to do it. It's almost like a photo recipe, really. That's what you end up with, and that's what you have to do to get there. And it really is refreshing. I mean, I've had this book for several years now, but I like reading this one. I've also got volumes 2 and 3 and 4, I think, as well, and they just take some of the concepts a little bit further, and he talks a lot more about flash photography in it as well. But I just read it because it really sort of reminds you of lots of the basics you should be doing if you've got into bad habits, and also encourages you to try different things out as well. There's lots of nice little tips on it as well, like how to stop your tripod falling over, white balance, travel shooting, all this sort of stuff like that. So you know, there's a classic nighttime trails photo. So we've got a silhouetted city, and then we've got some car light trails underneath. So I'll just read this one for you. Just gives you an idea of what it says. So it's showing movement in the city. If you want to show the hustle and bustle of city life, there's a simple trick that will do just that. Slow down your shutter speed and let the people and traffic create motion trails within your image. It's easy, as long as you've got a tripod, which is absolutely required for this effect. Just switch your camera's mode to shutter priority and set the shutter speed at either a 16th, an 8th or a quarter of a second. You can go longer if you have a low enough light that doesn't blow the highlights out of your photo. Then press the shutter, stand back, and in less than a second the motion of the city will reveal itself as the buildings, statues, lights and signs stay still, but everything else has motion trails around it. If you're shooting at night, you can really have a blast with motion. Try to find a high vantage point where you can have a good view of traffic. Then put your camera on a tripod, go to shutter priority mode, set your exposure to 30 seconds and take a shot. 30 seconds later you'll see long laser-like streaks of red lines, tail lights and brake lights, and white lights from the headlights. you'll have an amazingly cool image that most folks won't get. I mean, it's priceless. It's really simple. No highfalutin technicalities of why this does this. Just pictures. This is the shot that you want. That's how you do it. Very, very simple. I know there's another company that calls things the missing manual, but I think this is the missing digital photography manual. That's my second must-have essential book that you should have. First one's your manual. Second one's the digital photography book by Scott Kelby. You get the other ones in this series, but then the first one's the most important one. Now the third book this is a bit of a bait and switch, to be honest, because the third book is up to you, but it's important that you choose one. What I'm talking about here is, I've just got to take the cover of this book because it's a bit risque. Don't want to get in trouble for YouTube. So as photographers, the way that we get better is we take our cameras out and we take lots and lots of photographs. And the act of taking photographs and then looking at them and then sharing them, we'll naturally get better, because we take pictures of things and say, oh, that didn't come out the way I want it to, I'm going to do it differently next time, or that worked for me, I'm going to try more of that. The other thing we've got to do is look at lots of great photographs I'm talking about, photographs that have been published in magazines, perhaps in books. And so the third must-have photo book that you should own, if you don't have them already, is photo books by your favourite photographer. And if you haven't got one already, you should think about, trying to find a photographer that gives you inspiration. And if you look at lots of different photo books or go through the web and look at different images, you'll probably come across one or several photographers that you really like the work that you find inspiration by. Now, Helmut Newton, for example, I really enjoy his work. I'm not a fashion photographer. I'm not going to become a fashion photographer. I'm not going to be shooting for Vogue magazine, 6-foot blonde models or anything like that. But I really enjoy the sharpness of his work, not in terms of tack sharp images, but how much they cut in when you look at them. When you look at Helmut's work, you'll probably understand. Now, I'll try and open this at a page that isn't, because he likes doing his nudes, old Helmut. So I don't want to open it up at a page that's a bit NSFW. If you're watching this at work, let's pick a classic sort of Newton shot. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, maybe there's not that many that are that safe for work. Here we go. There must be some in here that don't have naked ladies in. Well, there definitely are. I've just got to find them. Not that this book is completely full of naked women, but there's quite a few. Here we go. Oh no, that's definitely not suitable. Sorry about this, everybody. There we are. Alright, no. There we go. I mean, this is early Helmut Newton, but it gives you an idea of kind of the stuff. I mean, black and white, obviously. These are fashion shots, very stark, high contrast. He tends to like using leggy models, very pretty ladies. But I like Helmut Newton's work. I like lots of other photographers as well. I like David Bailey. I like who else do I like? Frank, the Americans. I enjoy Henri Cartier-Bresson immensely, and that would have been the other book I would have chosen. The important thing is that your third essential photography book is a book by a photographer you admire and find inspiration from, and go out, borrow it from a library, buy it from Amazon or your local bookstore, and enjoy looking at it, and look at them and get inspiration from those photos. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed that. Your first essential photo book, the manual. The second essential photo book, the digital photography book by Scott Kelby. And then the third essential photography book, the must-own one, is one by your favourite photographer. My name's Rob from robnophoto.com. Thanks for watching.